Hey everybody, this is Tom Salemi of Device Talks. We're taking a look at the agenda for Device Talks Boston, which is happening on May 1st and May 2nd at the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center. Really excited to focus a part of the agenda on the neuro space. We're going to have a really fascinating panel I'm excited to see called What New Materials and Interfaces Will Advance Neurotechnologies. Very happy to have one of the panelists here. It's Kurt Haggstrom. He is Chief Commercial Officer at Synchron. Kurt, thanks for joining us in this discussion.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Tom.
And thanks for being part of Device Talks Boston. I know it's a bit of a homecoming for you, so glad to have you back in the Bay State. So we like to build our agenda around problems and solutions. We like to find those solutions. So let's first identify the problem that led to Synchron's founding, or the founding of its technology, the brain-computer interface. What problem are you trying to solve with existing neuro systems?
Yeah, the really innovation that stemmed in the ideation of Synchron's technology, which is a brain-computer interface, started back with Dr. Tom Oxley, one of our founders and now CEO of the company. And this was in regards to, he's a stroke interventionalist, and he saw a need with folks that would have a brainstem stroke and then would render them paralyzed, and they didn't have the ability to, in this instance, is a lot of times speak or move. And although the person's still there, they still cognitively, have their thoughts and abilities and emotions, but they had no physical ability. And so, the thought was, and brain-computer interfaces have been out there, but the thought was, hey, can we develop a technology that allows these people to have independence or autonomy back in their life, and to utilize technology as we able-bodied people do? So that's really where the need started, was trying to deliver, restore that element of independence through motor function.
That's fascinating. I didn't know that was the origin. I love it when simple questions can kind of be so provide revealing answers. So, what is the solution that Synchron is developing?
Yeah, it's a neurotechnology called a brain-computer interface, and this is a technology that we deliver through an endovascular approach. And so this means, endovascular means that you take the vasculature, so you take the blood vessels to the location. So in our instance, we take a device and we put it through the blood vessels up into the brain, and that the device is called the stentrode. And this device looks like a stent, and then has also a lead attached to it. And this device records the signals of the brain. Those signals then get translated into digital motor outputs. So these instead of a functional motor output, like we think moving your arms and legs, your fingers to use your smartphone, these are now digitized to allow that same functionality in the digital world, using those same motor intent signals.
And where are you in your developments? Now, tell us a little bit about Synchron. You folks have had some great progress. Now you had released some peer-reviewed data at the end of last year in regarding the performance of your system. Talk a bit about the state of Synchron and where you're at in development.
Yeah, so we've Synchron's been around for about 10 years. We have now conducted our first in-human trial that was in Australia, called the Switch trial, and those results were published in JAMA Neurology this past year. So very excited about that, and that really kind of put the stamp on the safety profile of our approach. We next conducted a early feasibility trial here in the United States. We have now finished enrollment with that. That was another 6 patients here in the United States, and that trial right now, called the Command trial, is ongoing. So we're doing our follow-up in that study, both from a safety follow-up. It's really a safety study, but doing the safety follow-up, as well as working with the patients on different activities that they do throughout the day that can add value from an independent standpoint. So that's where we're at right now. We're in that trial, mid trial, but we're also prepping and preparing for that next clinical step to test the next gen system.
And that leads into the final question as to where are you headed? What's the next couple of years hold for you? You're Chief Commercial Officer, so it suggests that there's some there, and you folks are moving forward. What are you looking forward to, hopefully executing in the next couple of years?
Yeah, so it's a great question, because I get that a lot, being a commercial person, right? Having that title as a commercial person. But maybe what folks don't realize is that in the med device industry, a lot of the commercial folks actually have a technical background. And so I do as well. So I'm an engineer by trade. And so I actually help bringing the voice of, our future users of the system to the development side. So you're really on the marketing, kind of that upstream marketing side of things, making sure that you're developing a commercially viable product, right? And so you have to have that voice early on in the process. The second part of that is reimbursement. This will be the first to market with this type of technology, and so making sure that we're thinking about reimbursement and how payers are going to look at this real early on in the clinical trials and the clinical protocols of this technology is really critical. So even though we're not selling yet, the thought of the right product and how the product gets paid for is something that you really have to think about upstream here.
And is that something that we can look forward to? It's always difficult to predict the future in medtech with regulatory bodies and clinical trials. But what's a time frame you have in mind for when we might see these see your devices helping patients?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think as we speak, that the product's in patients and helping them do their activities. And so I think, although it's, we're still in a clinical trial, these products will be in people. And our goal is to obviously contribute towards driving independence in these different activities that they do with the product. When you look at commercialization, when we really be on the market and we can really scale out to commercialization, we're still a few years out from that. But again, our next clinical trials will be very telling on efficacy and safety of the product and really starting to define the field itself.
Excellent. Well, we're excited to see that news when it comes out, but more recently, we're going to see you at DeviceTalks Boston. Happy to have you there. Excited to hear Synchron's story. And thanks for being part of DeviceTalks Boston and for joining us here today.
Absolutely appreciate it, Tom, and look forward to coming up there to Boston.